welcome back to Josh at the Range. Out here at the range today. This is the Belt and Gun Club. I'm at the 100-yard range and gonna kind of finish up load development for this rifle. So if you've been following along, I've done the powder ladder testing, kind of came up with a charge that I like there, then went into some seating depth testing. Found a pretty good seating depth, and then now we're kind of just finalizing the load altogether. Now, like I said before, if you're just now joining and hadn't been following along, I'm developing this as a hunting load. This is going to be for whitetail deer at 100 yards. My goal for this basically rifle and load is just to really get MOA, sub-MOA. So you know, as long as I keep it under a 1-inch group, kind of happy with that. That's where I want to be. Of course, I'll take anything that's better, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not trying to go into ultra precision with this at all. So that'll be other videos and other rifles. But today I'm going to be shooting the Nosler AccuBonds. I'm doing 5 5-shot groups, and each group is going to be, I'll show you the powder charges and everything and the specs for the rounds, but each one is jumping up only a 0.1 grain increment for powder. So like I said, just kind of fine tweaking and see if there's really any difference there. There might be, you know, very little to none, but we're just going to take a look and see what happens. And then if I do get a better grouping out of one of the loads, then that's what I'm going to load up for hunting season this year. So anyway, let me spin the camera around and we'll talk about the setup for a second, and then we'll start shooting. So we're going to be shooting here the Seekins Precision PH3 and 6.5 Creedmoor. Like I said, I have been working on and developing this load. Today, what we're going to be shooting, Nosler AccuBond 130 grain. Our cartridge overall length is set for 2.786. We're shooting Hodgdon H4350 powder, and like I mentioned, we're going to be our powder charges or weights, we're going to be jumping up by 0.1 grain increments here. So for each one, I'm going to get I'm going to have our chronograph running, and I'm going to get our extended spread and standard deviation, and then at the end we'll measure out all the group sizes and kind of see what works best. So I've got the long shot camera downrange. I haven't figured out a good way really to do this and record this without running multiple cameras, and I hope to get into that one day, but for now I'm going to continue on with this setup. So I'm just going to kind of aim this camera at both the long shot on the tablet and the gun itself. Okay, I shot basically 5 Fowlers, and just to clean out the barrel and all that, and then I want to keep all the conditions kind of the same. So I've got it on the barrel cooler now, or I just took it off the barrel cooler, and we're gonna get started shooting our first 5 groups. Hopefully you can see everything there. I got it zoomed in, so hopefully that works out. In case I didn't mention, we are shooting the Leupold VX5 HD. So let's do our first 5. All right, so not too bad. Let's look at our chronograph numbers here. Average speed 27.43, extended spread 35.3, standard deviation 12.8. Okay, next group 42.9. All right, looks like got 2 and 2 touching, with that 5th one. Could be the barrel warming up, or it could have been me. Looks like we got an average speed 27.45, ES 18.4, standard deviation 6.1. So numbers are looking pretty good there, but we'll continue on and see. Okay, group 3 at 43 grains. All right, numbers for that one: 2757 for speed, ES 26, SD 8.5. Okay, got our fourth group, and this one's 43.1 for our powder charge. Not sure if you can hear, somebody's got some kind of fully auto. Uh-oh, dropped my case. Ugh. Somebody's got a fully auto out here. I hear those every now and then. Okay, not a bad group. Average speed 2759, ES 14.1, SD 4.8. So I mean, it's one of those things. Those the actual target stickers are 2 inches. So you know, it's one of those things that I had one guy tell me before. He said, I put a 2-inch sticker up, and if I can zero my scope in on the center of it, and no matter what size group I shoot, as long as it's all within that group, I'm good to hunt, you know. So, well, you know, just everybody has their different opinions and thoughts on it. These for sure aren't looking like the tightest groups ever. And it's like I said, it might be that I'm having an off day, or it might be, you know, the load itself or some other kind of situation, even environmental, and it's probably mainly me. It's like I said, I'm not a professional shooter, and then we are approaching almost 11 o'clock, and I have yet to eat anything today, so kind of feeling a headache and a little bit jittery as well. Trying to drink plenty of water and stay hydrated because it's already 90 degrees out here. But anyway, just rambling on. Okay, our final load at 43.2. Not bad first shot. Just under the red dot or bullseye. And in the same hole. It looks that way through the scope. That was a little higher. Wait just a second on that breeze to stop. I don't think at 100 yards and 6.5 a little bit of a breeze is going to affect the bullet whatsoever, but it does move the target around. That doesn't look like a bad group through the scope. But that just depends on your classification of a good and bad group, right? Let's see, our numbers are 2766 for speed, ES 22.2, SD 9.1. So not bad numbers across the board. All right, so that'll wrap up this rifle. I'll get back to the shop and measure out all the groups, and then we'll look at the data and kind of go from there. All right, back from the range and got everything measured out here. So for our Seekins 6.5 Creedmoor, as you can see, the 42.8 charge, I got a 0.83 inch group. Then we moved to 42.9. I got a 1.19 inch group. At 43, I got a 1.60 inch group. 43.1, 1.19, and then 43.2, a 0.79. So, I don't know. What do you say? I mean, I can look at it a couple different ways. Any of those groups are going to kill a deer, right? I mean, this is a hunting load. So, do I believe the target as Eric Cortina says and, you know, go with that 0.83 or 0.79, load up 20 rounds for hunting season, and move the Seekins down to the basement gun safe until until hunting season and time to zero the scope in and all that stuff? Or do I try to continue on and develop and see if I can get a better group out of this rifle? I'm sure 100% that the rifle itself is capable of shooting better. And I think over my my test and my load development, I think I have shot actually some better groups with it. But I'd have to go back and look at notes, and I shoot so many different guns, I don't remember. So we can look at it, you know, those different ways. I'm sure the gun's a lot more capable. I'm sure, you know, the other factors, if you put a professional behind the gun with these loads, would the groups be better? Probably. You know, just all factors, you know, in consideration. But I have gone through a fair number of rounds with the rifle in the load development, and it's kind of one of those things that I'm feeling at a point that with this rifle, I'm kind of ready just to pick a load and stick with it for this hunting season and put this gun away and then move on to the next rifle that I want to load develop for. Because I've got several other rifles that I want to do this process with, and there's some other guns and shooting and different things I'm wanting to do, and you know, kind of putting some focus on this rifle takes away from the other things I want to do. So you know, let me know your thoughts. Like, you know, do you want to see me continuing to do more load development with this rifle? I mean, we could go past the 43.2 started getting a smaller group. Well, what will that look at 43.3, 43.4? So do we continue on past that, and even, you know, possibly get into compression and things? We haven't gotten there yet. You know, these we're not at our max charges or anything like that. So if multiple people want me to continue to develop for this rifle, then I will. But if there's not really any interest in seeing me to continue working on it, then I'm kind of going to call it a day and basically move on to the next projects. So anyway, that'll wrap up this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please do all the things: like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Thanks again.